Thank you for coming. It's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Dr. Breanne Everett. I'm the CEO and founder of Orpyx. Orpyx was founded in the operating room. I had planned to become a surgeon, and it was very alarming to me to see every single day people who were losing their legs as a result of diabetes. This is a problem that ends up arising because the majority of people who are living with the disease end up losing sensation in their feet. If you can't feel your feet, you can't feel pain, and you basically wear holes in your feet like someone might wear a hole in a sock. So in this situation, pain is certainly a gift, and we lose that gift with diabetes, unfortunately. So the thought for the technology was, what if we could manage this in a more preventative way? What if we could actually manage and monitor those situations that actually lead to wounds in the first place, stop the wound from happening, and if we can stop the wound from happening, we can stop the eventuality of amputation. And so this is what Orpyx is working on today, and we're really committed to extending health spans, so those years of healthy, mobile lives for people living with diabetes. But it's important to really think about the entire patient journey, and what is somebody living with diabetes experiencing? It is a multi-system disease, and this is a piece of it. So we like to think about diabetes care as 6 key pillars of health. To properly manage diabetes, you need to be properly managing mental health, eye care, cardiovascular disease and disease prevention and management, activity and lifestyle, blood glucose and metabolic, and then, and very importantly, foot and limb management. We really feel that this is the biggest unmet need in diabetes care. And why do I say that? For every $3 spent on diabetes, $1 goes to management of this problem. It's an area that's been completely underaddressed and something that we really have to change and really have to invest in if we want to further diabetes care more broadly. At Orpyx, we're changing the standard of care. We're establishing the preventative management of the diabetic foot as the standard of care for this disease. And we're doing so by preventing the wound that ultimately would lead to amputation and keeping those people living healthy, active, mobile lives. So at Orpyx, we have a turnkey solution for prevention, and it has 4 key elements. The first is sensory insoles, which can be made either custom or non-custom, a home data hub, a clinician portal, and then very, very importantly to the program is coaching and credentialed support with Orpyx nurses. Our insole portfolio includes flex, so non-custom insoles that are sensorized, as well as custom insoles that are sensorized. Those custom insoles would be considered current standard of care for somebody who's living with diabetic foot disease who's at risk of wounds. The technology itself is very robust, and over 10 years of R&D has gone into this technology. As you can see, the insole itself, before it's exploded in this view, looks and feels just like a regular insole. But inside, we have a very powerful sensing capability that comes from pressure sensors that are included in the black cells that you see there, temperature sensors, and then movement and activity sensors. Although we've been putting a lot of work into the establishment of this technology, really as innovators, we're never done, and we're very proud to announce that next month we're going to be launching our next-gen product, which includes the Orpyx Hub, so home solution for Bluetooth to cellular connectivity for this or other remote monitoring solutions, and our no-charge insoles that you simply put inside your shoe, and it works for 6 months without ever touching it. At the 6-month mark, you would simply replace it for your next pair of insoles. Over time, we've really learned that creating a very invisible solution is absolutely key to making a remote monitoring solution work in the context of chronic disease. We talked earlier about what it is to live with diabetes and the number of systems that the disease affects. If you add friction with a solution, you will not support that patient in their care. So really, it's about being invisible and supportive as possible, and that's what we're accomplishing with this upcoming launch. So Orpyx really truly enables prevention, and we do that through multimodal and continuous monitoring. Multimodal because we're measuring and monitoring different sensing capabilities all which are very important to the establishment of diabetic foot ulcers and the early detection of them. So on the most preventative side of what we do is pressure sensing. So we're looking where there's loading without offloading, and we're able to mitigate and really prevent those concerning situations with activity. Activity is actually the most preventative thing that we can do to drive the decrease in wounds in people living with diabetic foot disease. As a wound continues to form, if there has been pressure injury, you will see heat. You will see temperature as a result of inflammation before that wound breaks down. So on the more reactive side of what we do, as a second line of defense, we're measuring temperature to see if there's a wound that is forming. All of this is monitored through our remote monitoring service, and as a part of that solution, we're on an ongoing basis measuring adherence and step count. With the improvements in technology that we have developed over time, plus with a very strong supportive RPM service, we've been able to drive very best-in-class engagement and adherence with this technology. The average usage that we see is about 8 to 10 hours per day for 21 days per month. That drives millions and millions of data points that we're able to take data, turn it into insights, and use that to support patients in the best care possible. That the solution is continuous is really important as well. So if you look at traditional methods of blood glucose monitoring where a finger prick test is done to establish blood glucose levels at a single point in time, we've really started to move towards more continuous monitoring because lots of data means the ability to perform statistics. It means the ability to actually determine truth in a sea of numbers. And in this case, the transition from intermittent monitoring or checks on the diabetic foot to continuous ongoing real-world monitoring is very important to be able to do this well. We've been building a strong intellectual property portfolio. We have 135 total patent filings, and those patents cover a broad range of products, methods, and manufacturing methods for smart insole technology. That covers hardware, software, as well as machine learning applications in a wide variety of the work that we do. The applications for this are very broad. So right now, really the focus is in wound and amputation prevention, but the applications to this IP in activity tracking, gait and balance quantification, fall risk detection, fall risk quantification, gait, vascular care, injury prevention, and athletic performance optimization are very vast. We've been able to demonstrate through RCT, we're the only company in the space that actually has completed an RCT. We've shown an 86% reduction in diabetic ulcer formation in the highest risk people. We have 12 publications to date, and we're currently working with clinician investigators at Johns Hopkins University and USC here in LA on a 400-person RCT that will really be a pivotal study in this space. But how does all of this translate to real-world outcomes? And we're very excited to be sharing a program today that we're working on with Veterans Affairs on a national level. We have also had success with IDNs, payers, and Indigenous-led partnerships, but I'm going to focus now on this program. The VA spends $3 billion a year on diabetic foot-related complications and amputation. That is a staggering number. And it's really unacceptable. It's unacceptable in the VA, it's really unacceptable everywhere else, especially when we know that technology can solve this problem. So the program, National Initiative to End Diabetic Limb Loss, has been established through a national program office and is now receiving congressional uncapped funding to support the highest risk veterans across the US who are living with diabetic foot disease, who are at risk of wounds and amputation. We've been rigorously selected as a preferred vendor, so the product is now available and paid for any veteran who is considered high risk, of which there are 300,000 veterans in that category. We've been very fortunate that we've been able to build a business model within the VA that is very attractive. It's bundled, it's annually renewed. We are seeing about a 90% annual renewal rate for the veterans who have turned over year, which is very exciting. And the engagement level that we've seen is similarly through the roof. The margins that we're generating through this program are certainly industry standard. And the engagement rates parallel what I mentioned earlier across the board. We couldn't do this without a team. This is a portion of our exceptional team. It's a very multidisciplinary team that we've built. That team is also overseeing a 30,000 square foot production facility where we manufacture our own product according to the most rigorous quality standards available. Our leadership team is extremely experienced in the areas of commercialization, manufacturing, in launching new products, and in category creation, and we're excited to be continuing to build that moving forward. Our partners have been instrumental in helping us to grow what we've grown to date, and they'll continue to be working with us on establishing a footprint to really make sure that we're bringing this technology to the people who need it the most. So we're here today to meet partners who would be very interested in supporting the company in some way, shape, or form in our strategic footprint moving forward. So if any of this resonates with you, I'd love to have the opportunity to speak at, over the next couple of days. Thank you.